Hello YouTube, Jeff Steele here. Today's video topic is on the two best watches for BugOut or SHTF scenarios. A couple of things these watches have in common. They are relatively inexpensive and they are extremely tough. I have been a watch collector pretty much the majority of my life, and I sort of inherited that hobby from my father and grandfather. I've seen a whole lot of watches in my 32 years on this planet, and I have found the last couple of years I've really gravitated to these two pieces. I do have other watches, but 90% of the time I'm wearing one of these two watches when I'm out and about. These watches, some things they have in common. They're both water resistant / waterproof to 200 meters or 20 atmospheres. They are extremely shock proof, scratch resistant, and relatively non-reflective in nature. They could be more so, but tactical watches are usually tool type watches. They have less chrome and shiny things on them. They are more impact resistant. Of course, one is the old school, one is more digital. Both extremely tough watches. Both are really for different occasions, depending on what you're doing. But it could be switched out in either scenario. You're going out on a dinner date, you might want to go for the dive watch. You're going out on maneuvers, going out hunting, you might want to go for the digital. Just depends on what you're doing. It's good to have two options. Let's start with a deeper analysis of this diving piece. This is the Citizen Pro Diver. It's the EcoDrive. Now, these watches come in both blue and black, and there's also a stainless steel bracelet version, but for more tactical purposes, it's better to go with the rubber strap version. You can switch the strap out. This is a good water-resistant strap. It's not the super high-end Italian silicone type material, but it's a material that will, I think, hold up better in salt water, for example, than the softer silicone straps. Get a close-up on the watch. And black goes with more outfits, I would say, than the blue. So I think if you can have both, but if you can have one, go with the black. It's sort of like having a black belt versus a blue belt. You can just use it for more outfits. Now, Citizen has a model that the Italian Navy used that is similar to this. It looks very similar. A couple of the differences: the version the Italian Navy used was an automatic watch, and it was a little thicker because of that. And the stem was at the 8 o'clock location instead of the 4. The 4 is still spectacular. When you have it on your wrist, when you're doing maneuvers, moving about, the stem is not stabbing you in the back of the hand, which is very common. For example, the marathon watches, their stem is at 3 o'clock, and every time you bend your hand back and the stem is substantial, it's going to stab you in the hand. So the 4 or the 8 is just out of your way. It's fantastic. And at this price point, I got this watch for around $175. It was delivered right to the door, including shipping, taxes. The prices do vary where you get them, but they usually average around $175. The stainless steel bracelet version is a bit more expensive, of course. But I've had the Seiko SKX watches in similar type price level automatics. The problem with those, I found that I was constantly having to get them serviced. Automatic watches are very delicate when it comes to impact. So if you're out chopping wood and you have an automatic watch on your wrist, there's a high probability you are going to damage that timepiece. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a SKX on my wrist or another lower level automatic dive type watch and be chopping wood and it just go out on me time and time again. When you have a battery powered watch or a solar powered watch, which is the case here, you don't have to worry about the impact scenarios as much. You just don't. I've never had a problem with this watch. It requires minimal light to keep on ticking. I've never had a situation where it was losing time. I usually set my watches about 15 minutes fast as a safety net, but I've never had an issue with it losing time. This is a Japanese movement, and we all know the Japanese have a very high attention to detail and very quality oriented. It's just deep ingrained in their culture. Like a Toyota Tundra pickup, an old school one, they just go and go. Now, this watch has a warranty from the factory of 6 years. So let's say this watch crashes at 6 years. You still only paid $175 for 6 years with a great watch. Now, the battery has a alleged life of 25 years. So really, they really would like to see it last for 25 years at a minimum. But I'm assuming for company liabilities, they only could warranty it for 6 years. And it does say on the case back, if you ever have an issue, to send it to their service center for repair only. Do not open the back. And it does have a screw down case back, and this crown here, that is metal. I don't think it's stainless. I think this is cap is aluminum maybe, but it's all brushed. Now the top of the bezel is a little glossy, as is the markers on the face. The date is at the 4 o'clock. It is not a perpetual calendar, so occasionally you will have to adjust that. The crown is screwed down with a seal. It is unidirectional. This is diver certified. It is an official, legitimate dive watch. You can use this for diving. And it's a 60-click bezel, not 120. And it does have the no dive limits here on the mark. Most people are not going to dive more than 200 meters. Matter of fact, most of us are what we would call pretend divers, or we want a dive watch. We like the look of them. We might use the bezel timer feature. We might get the watch wet at the water park under the sink, or maybe you're going out for a swim in the pool. You just don't want to have to worry about it. It gives you a level of buffer, basically, having 200 meters water resistance. If I could change some things about this watch, what would I change? Well, I really love the brushed stainless steel. That is the style that I like. I love how thin the watch is. I would probably go for something less glossy on the front of the watch, less reflective. Supposedly it does have non-reflective on the... Now this is a mineral crystal. It's not a sapphire. Sapphire is less scratch resistant, but more prone to being shattered. So this mineral is supposed to be better against shattering, but does scratch easier than sapphire. I've never scratched it. Keep my fingers crossed on that, but it's been great. But if I could change something, definitely I would go with no gloss, no chrome glossy marker indicators on the face. If I could change something, I just like the more matte look. But I don't think there's no such thing as a perfect watch. There's great watches, but you're never going to get a perfect watch, I guess, unless you have one custom made. And I would probably change the minute hand to the same color as the hour marker. I don't really go for the orange, but it looks more red and it's not real noticeable. One other change I would make would be I would go with tritium markers instead of I think it's Luminova, something to that effect. which it's good, but tritium, I have tritium night sights on a lot of my firearms, and I really like it. It really lasts. I have one pistol I've had for 11 years, and the tritium night sights on it still glow bright. They're very defined in their indication. That's why I really prefer tritium over any other type of illumination. So I will, for both of these units, I will absolutely put links down below so you can check them out. It does help the channel if you click through them. But this is the Citizen Pro Diver, the EcoDrive model, and I really love it. Let's look at the other option. So if I'm going hunting, I'm going to be working, doing some really tough jobs, and I want to have a watch on, this is what I'm wearing. Now, I got this watch at Walmart, believe it or not, a couple of years ago. The jewelry section of Walmart was going away. So basically, they were doing away with this particular Walmart's jewelry section. So what inventory they had marked down by about 45% off. So anything that they had was a great deal. And they had a handful of these Casio G-Shock watches left in the case. And this particular model is the Mudman, the 200-meter water-resistant version. And it basically just has reinforced casing. The buttons are even more sealed off. It is designed to be in the mud, in the water, and I have had it absolutely in the mud, in the water, as well as in the blood. I've had it in everything, and I've never had an issue with it leaking. The lens is a crystal. I've never had it scratch. If I need to wash it, I just put it right under the sink, hose it down, pressure wash it, never had a problem. And the battery has never had an issue. I think they have 5-year batteries. The great thing about this EcoDrive is the battery charges itself, and hopefully will do so for at least 25 years, hopefully. But this, you will have to unscrew the back and go in to replace the battery. And it has a little Mudman symbol on the back. Again, 200-meter water resistant, or 20 ATMs or atmospheres. It has several alarms, timers, stopwatches, tells the day, date, and also will tell you the times at other places around the world. It does not have a compass or thermometer on it, and it has great illumination. Not only does the background of the digital piece illuminate, but also the marker indicators also illuminate, if you can see that. But if I'm going hunting, I'm going to be going water rafting, or I'm going to be going rock climbing, something very physically intensive, this is what I'm going to put on. If I'm going out on a dinner date, I'm going out on the boat, out to the park, water park, I'll throw on the dive watch. If you're going on a Spartan race, you would put this on. It's good to have two options. I think I only paid about $35 for this G-Shock Mudman 200 meters. I think the original price on this was anywhere from $75 to $100. They might be up to $125, $130 now. Again, I'll put links down below for both models for you to check out. But fantastic pieces, super durable. I would argue super stylish. If I could change something on the G-Shock, I mean, again, beggars can't be choosers. I got a great deal on this. If I could change something, I would have it all blacked out, so I wouldn't have any red on it. I would go with something matte on the buckle here, as this is more of a matte steel, not less reflective and shiny. And this is more of a chrome type reflective metal. I don't like that. And I would probably blacken these screws out here as well. But outside of that, I don't think I would change anything on. It's very comfortable to wear. So this is my 2 best watch options for BugOut SHTF. Tap the thumbs up button, the subscribe button. Really helps the channel out with the algorithms. I'll put links down below. Comment down below as well on what your favorite 1 or 2 go-to watches are for BugOut SHTF that are super tough, super reasonable on pricing. I'd love to see what else is out there. Share this video. Really thank you for watching. Have a great day.